Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we're going to be sewing up the Carmen Casual Cami top. This is a great pattern because it works so well for just like a spring summer top or something that's excellent for layering. I love wearing like a layered tank underneath some of my dresses, which are a little bit lower cut, or for more modesty, or also I love wearing a tank underneath like a really cute cardigan that I love, but I don't want like a super bulky thing underneath it. Or if I make like, I love to crochet. I don't know if you can see my crochet sweater in the background, I crochet. And I love having like a little tank, a little cami to go underneath it because, you know, crochet is a little bit, sometimes can be a little loose. So this is such a perfect pattern, couldn't come at a better time. I'm super excited to sew it. I have just the perfect elevated blazer to wear over this tank, this cami that I'm making today. So let's get started. First of all, this cami has a couple of options. It has the fitted option and the relaxed option. I'm making the relaxed just because I fit in between a size medium and large, and I'm going with a medium today. So I kind of want to see how it fits. I will probably make a fitted version for more under the dress version. This is going to be one that I'm going to wear under my blazer, so I kind of wanted it a little bit more relaxed. But I'm going to make a fitted version white and a black, so and like some other solid colors, which will be great for going under garments. This will also be really nice made in like in a bamboo or cotton lycra to wear like as a sleeping set or anything like that. Super nice. So there's also an option for a swayback, which I'm doing the option on the back. So I'm going to sew the two backs together, or you can make it in a solid. So there's quite a few options on there. There's a couple of different ways to sew your binding as well. And I'm going to show you the two different ways. And I'm going to tell you which ones are more recommended for each thing. But yeah, that's it. So I have two backs. I have my front. I have my two bindings for my arms, my arm bindings, and I've got my neck binding. So we're going to get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to face my backs right sides together here at the raw edge of the back. And I'm using for this one, I'm using double brush poly, and I think this double brush poly came from Knit Pop, but many years ago I've had it. What I love about this too is that is great for using some like scraps, because it doesn't take a ton of fabric to do this pattern. I have so much fabric that I've used for other things, and then I'm like, what do I do with this like yard or whatever? And this would be a perfect pattern for that, especially because, like I said, it doesn't use a ton of yardage, and you can use the bindings. You can do the bindings like with a contrasting color or something, so all you really need is like the main bodice. So that would work. So I'm going to sew that up right sides together, and then we're going to go ahead and prep our binding. Now, like I said, there's two different ways to do our binding. I'm going to show you with the straps. I'm going to show you the first way, which is like making like an actual binding. So we're going to grab our iron and actually steam it like binding. And then for the bodice, I'm going to do it the other way, which is more recommended for the neckline, where I'm just going to sew it right on, fold over, and then I'm going to trim fabric afterwards. We use the same concept when we make the Tiffany Tranquil tank for the bindings of the neck and the bindings of the armbands. So if you want to check those out as well, that's another tank pattern that's really cute. All right, so for the option that I'm going to use for my long straps, which is the binding option, what you're going to do is first you're going to fold it right down the middle, wrong sides together. Make sure your iron is not way too hot that's going to burn your fabric or anything like that. After it is folded wrong sides together, we're going to fold those two edges right into it, wrong sides together as well. So you open it up, and then you fold those two sides into that middle side, that middle line. And then I'm going to fold it one more time, right down the middle. And then I'm going to repeat that with the other binding. Now, you can do this first, the steaming, or you can sew the, next step will be to sew the bindings together, but I just went ahead and steamed them separately because it was just going to be a really long strap. But you can actually, if you want to go ahead and do this part first, which is the part where you go ahead and sew those two bindings together here, right sides together at this short raw edge. I'm just doing the folding first and then sewing it, but you can sew it first and then do the folding over. It is up to you. All right, so I am going to go ahead and match up those two raw edges of my neckband and sew them right sides together here at the short raw edge. You know, I don't know, some people might find it easier to do this first before steaming. It's such a long piece that I just wanted to do them both separately, but either way. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that and sew up my back seam, and then we're gonna come back and attach them together, do bindings and all that good stuff. All right, so the neckband, the arm, well, this is gonna be like the band around the back, and the neck area, the straps are sewn together. And then I've got my back piece, and I steamed that seam open, and you can go ahead and top stitch from the back if you want to. I'm not gonna do that, but if you want to top stitch for like a cleaner look, you can do that. And then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do the binding for the neckline. So I've got my front neck area here, and I'm going to mark my center. Now I'm gonna grab my binding, my neck binding, and I'm gonna find the center of that. And that center, I'm gonna place it right at the center of my neck. I get right sides together. Again, you can do this like this, or you can do the binding method, which I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna attach that to the back. So you can attach it to the neckline like that as well. It's up to you. They're just two different ways of doing it. I'm gonna go up to the top and kind of stretch out so that way it goes right to that top area, right sides together, and I'm matching at this raw edge. So I'm stretching as I sew, and I'm gonna sew that together. I'm gonna use my serger, but any kind of stretch stitch on your sewing machine will be just fine for this option. Just evenly stretched out, okay? And then we're gonna come back and top stitch that later, but I'm gonna leave it like that for now because I'm also going to put in the front and back together. I'm gonna go ahead and sew those right sides together on the sides. Go ahead and get that done already because I like to do everything at the same time, because then we'll come back to finish the bindings. It's a pretty quick sew. So we're matching up the two sides, right sides together of the bodice front and back, and sewing with a stretch stitch. All right, let's go sew those up. When you're sewing, always make sure that you have thread on your serger, or you will get a non-serged seam. All right, for the neckband, we're just, I was gonna say, I don't know why I was saying washing. We're just gonna sew right sides together right there. Make sure that you're stretching as you go to match up the neckband and the neck area. All right, now for the neckline, like I said, we have a couple methods, but this is the method I'm doing for the neckline. This is the method number 2, which I just sewed up the band to the front of the neck. Now I'm going to move the seam allowance up towards the neckband and then fold the neckband over, and we're going to top stitch it. So seam allowance up, neckband over the seam allowance towards the back. And you're stretching because you want it to top stitch, you know, stretched out, not all crimply, so. And you can steam this. It will give you a better, you know, movement of the fabric if you do steam it. I'm just, you know, showing you here, and then I'll go steam it real quickly, but yeah. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the front. It's just folded over like that. And I'm gonna go from the front and just top stitch it. This one's a little bit too loose, but I'm gonna go and top stitch it on my cover stitch. But you can do a cover stitch, you can do a zigzag stitch, you can do a triple stitch, anything that stretches, stretch stitch along the top stitching that together. I'm gonna actually do this again because it's not, I want it to be tighter. So it's got the same seam allowance, so that my neck band, my neck area, my binding, my neck binding looks the same size everywhere. So, okay. much better. I'm gonna go top stitch that. All right, I am using my cover stitch for this right here, which is a, it looks like a serger, but it really does, it's like a hemming stitch. It does 2 top stitching stitches. But like I said, this would be fine to do on your sewing machine as well. And we do have a video that goes more in detail about how to do binding. So if you wanna watch that video to help you a little bit more, let's do this. All right, so that neckline is basically done. So now what we're going to do is we're gonna go here to the back. So the front will look like this. And then the back, you will have these extra fabric hanging out at the back. So you wanna really carefully trim away without cutting your actual tank. You wanna trim away the excess fabric. This is the nerve-wracking part. All right, now that's gone. So now we can turn this around and we're gonna start with the back, attaching that band where we sewed it together, right sides together, where that seam line is, that goes right at the back. And now this is gonna get sewn on a little bit different, but almost the same way that we sewed up the front of the neck, which is we're gonna match it right sides together along the whole back. And you should have little notches on your pattern if you mark them where those seams are. And we're gonna go all the way up to that front piece here, sewing them right sides together. See that notch right there? That gets marked right there. And then we end up doing the same thing on the other side. Bo just wanted to come say hello. He loves it when I'm sewing, and he loves to say hello to all my friends that are sewing up with me. Do you have a little friend that comes and likes to hang out with you when you're sewing? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what their name is and what kind of pet it is. Because I know it's not just doggies. I know some of you have some kitties or some birds. It's so fun. All right, I'm going to sew this up with my serger. You can do it with your serger, or like I said, with a stretch stitch on your sewing machine, lightning bolt stitch, triple stitch, zigzag stitch, any of that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna come back and finish it up. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so cute. All right, now we're gonna open up, and again, we're going to turn this seam towards the binding. Now, instead of just folding the binding right over and top stitching, which you can do that, you're gonna fold, and this time you're not gonna have that raw edge. What you're gonna do is you're gonna fold that first half that we folded earlier, that folded, what is the word? That memory crease, that first memory crease, and then we're gonna fold out the second memory crease, encasing that seam allowance. So move that seam allowance towards the binding, and then you're encasing that seam allowance like so. So this is the second method of sewing the binding. So either method that works best for you. I find that this second method has more steps, but it's, you know, it looks a little bit different. I don't know which method I prefer. Comment below and let me know. Do you prefer method 1 or 2? And like I said, I think method 1 is easier. The method that I did in the neckband is easier because of the fact that, actually I think that's method 2, but whatever. The method I did on the neckband, because it doesn't require you to steam the binding first. It doesn't require you to fold over and fold over, but this method doesn't require you to cut afterwards, and then you don't have the raw edge afterwards and the cutting afterwards. It's, to me, so nerve-wracking, because like, what if you end up cutting your top? So that's the only difference that I see between the two of them. What do you think? Is it worth the nerve-wracking of the cutting of the binding afterwards, or is it, you know, would you rather just steam it? What are your thoughts on that? Now, when you get here, you see that the reason why we do this method here is because you want this one side not to be raw. So you have it folded already, and then we're gonna fold it on itself to create those straps. So here's one edge. And if you steam it, it'll do a little bit better than mine. I'm just showing you real quickly here because see how you can still see. I just got to make sure that I covered that seam allowance when I'm sewing it. Anyway, and then here, they're going to be folded again, wrong sides together like we folded them earlier to create this binding all the way up to the end. Because then this strap will get sewn to the back of the tank. Okay, so you can see this is what the back looks like. This is the inside. And then if you turn it, it's flushed and nice here on the front. And we're gonna do the same going the other way. Up the strap. So you can cut this serger tail here because that's not gonna be needed. And this is gonna get folded under like this. The seam allowance there. And this goes right over it. And it gets top stitched down here. And it's finished. So we're gonna go ahead and top stitch that. While we're at it, we can hem, or we can come back and hem afterwards because we're still gonna sew up the straps to the back of the tank once this is done. I'm gonna do this with my cover stitch again, just because I like the way that it finishes it. But again, a zigzag stitch, a triple stitch, a double needle, any of that will do to be able to sew these together. Oh, it's coming along. It's gonna be so cute. All right, make sure if you're doing a top stitch here that you start the right way and you don't have these straps twisted or anything like that. I'm gonna go up. All right, now that that's done, you're gonna give it a good steam. And you're going to find the markings for the back straps, or you can try it on and see exactly where you want to place those straps. And you're going to make sure that they're straight, and you're going to attach them to the inside of the cami, either by triple stitch or zigzag stitch, or however you want to attach them. I'm gonna try mine on, so I'm just basting them now. I'm gonna try it on and see exactly where I want them to go because it's my tank, so I can be perfect on the placement. Then at the bottom, we're gonna fold over 1/2 inch and we're going to hem, and that is it. So let's do all that, and then I'm gonna come and show you the final results. I'm super excited. I love this pattern because it's kind of like, you know, it's got the floral, so it's kind of like giving a little bit of spring and summer, but it's also black, so it's giving like more dressy, more, you know, fancy design. So I'm excited about it. Let's finish this up. All right, friends, we are done with this tank. It turned out really, really good. I love it. It's just high enough. And obviously, if you want it to be tighter, you can make the straps tighter. You can make them, you know, looser if you want it to be lower. I think it turned out super cute. This is the relaxed version, so it's a little bit looser around the midsection. So if you want a more fitted look, which I will be doing next for like my ones that are gonna be like under my t-shirt, under my dresses or whatever, I'll do the fitted version. So I'm gonna be doing that next. But I love this version because I wanted to pair it with some like jackets or something like that. This is the elevated blazer. And I thought it would look really cute with underneath this jacket, or, you know, I have other cardigans that I think will look super cute under. So I really do love it. Sometimes I like to tuck in my shirt. I don't know if I'm gonna tuck this one in a little bit because, you know, I guess maybe that ages me, but I love doing that, you all know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and then go ahead and sew it up with me. And then go find yourself a nice either jacket or cardigan that you want to sew up with us, and sew that up with us as well. There's a video on here of how to sew up this jacket. But anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!